Hi everyone, Summer here with AstariaSen, and I had a weird experience with, well, my hair actually, that led me to some things that I wanted to talk about. And maybe it's going to be weird to you, but this is my safe space. It's where I can talk about the things that I want to talk about spiritually or otherwise, right? So I dyed my hair, uh, and in the front, I did this really cool, like I had my cousin is a hairstylist. She's been doing it for 12 years. And so she did this really cool thing in the front. And then in the back, it actually, you can't see it right now, but you can kind of see where some of the color is. But in the very back, I've got like an oil slick coloring going on, which by the way, is all Courtney over at Erie's Witchcraft. It's all her fault. But in doing so, because I don't dye my hair very often, because I don't change things very often, it's not that I've never dyed my hair before. It's just that it's not a frequent thing for me. When I was younger, my 20s or so, even the early 30s, I used to dye my hair burgundy all the time. I have really strong red undertones in my hair, and that causes a lot of dye to not stick well or to change the way that it even looks, and that's awkward sometimes. So burgundy was the best way for me to go. And I've dyed my hair black. I've had my hair completely like stripped out blonde. I've had my hair like a blue black. Yeah, just stuff like that. So didn't seem so abnormal for me to dye my hair. But because it's not something I do frequently, my oldest daughter, who is going to be 20 at the end of July, actually asked me if I was going through a midlife crisis. Okay, first off, let's talk about midlife crisis, right? Because is that something I'm going through? Could it be deemed as something I'm going through? I did not view my hair change as a midlife crisis. But in tandem with this, right? This same daughter has also been worried about me turning 40 for some reason. I'm going to be 40 in January, and she literally asked me like how scared of that I was. And this was a few months ago, and I did talk about it in another video, but I'm not afraid of 40. And I mean, could I see a lot of potential for like a midlife crisis kind of thing going on? Sure. I mean, I'm out in the middle of nowhere, guys. It's not really nowhere, but it kind of is at the same time. I just upped and moved my entire life out here, but I knew I was going to do it. It wasn't like a sudden, epiphany of I need to go do this. It was a plan. It just happened a little sooner than expected. That's all. And I don't know, like, I don't think I'm following a midlife crisis, but I do think that major changes are happening in my life. And it is something that I want to discuss because spiritually, emotionally, physically, all of these things are important in how the world works around me or how I work within that world, I guess. And you know what? There's something that I've very much learned about getting ready to turn 40 so far, and it's an epiphany that I came up with yesterday on a road trip with my significant other. And I'm going to be 40, and the reason it doesn't bother me is because I feel like 40 is the start of something completely and utterly new for me. All my kids are grown up. I have a grandbaby. uh, I don't have a regular 9 to 5 job. I've been working towards having my own business for years now. I've moved out to the property. My entire life has literally changed. Everything about it, including my spirituality and how I practice. And that is important because turning 40 means that the last 40 years that I survived, the last 40 years of pain and hurt and traumatization and just a bunch of things, I survived all of that. I walked through it. I walked through fire and, nails and cut glass. And I did things that I didn't even think I had enough strength to do. And the next 40 years of my life, honestly, I just want to enjoy it. I got to thinking about bucket lists and like, not necessarily for death, but because I know a lot of people do, what do you want to do before you die? But more like bucket lists for what I want to do for the summer, or what I want to do for the next month, or what do I want to do for a year, those kind of things. And I want to experience things I haven't experienced before. I'm not big person on changes, but I want to change the way that I view my world right now, and I can't do that without experience some kind of change, right? And those bucket lists, those lists of things that I want to do, it's not giant grand things. I mean, most of the stuff I have accomplished in my life is all something I wanted to do. By the time I was 18, I had accomplished everything I had written out on a list to do. Every single thing, I'm not kidding you. Right down to the car that I owned. And maybe that sounds kind of crazy, but I knew what I wanted. I've always kind of known what I wanted. I wanted to become an author. I did. I wanted to become a best-selling author. So I did. I wanted to graduate high school early. So I did. I wanted a family early on in my life, not later. So I did. I mean, just the sheer amount of things that I accomplished just because I said I wanted to and then just did it is impressive to me when I look back on my life. Not in a grand scheme, like nobody's going to look back on my life and be like, she did all these huge, amazing things probably. But for me personally, these things are huge and astounding. The things that I accomplished, I didn't think that I couldn't do it. I just decided to do it and suddenly I did. So out of the property, we've got flies, unfortunately. So, I mean, that's just a thing. So we're going to have to deal with that. But by the time I was 30, I had started college. And I mean, I wanted to get my bachelor's in English. So I did. I didn't want to become a teacher. I wanted to become an editor. So I did. All of the things I've ever wanted to do, I've done. I mean, I can't express to you how profound that was to me when I was thinking about it before. And now I'm like, well, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? What is it that I need to do next? And I decided it's not about what I needed to do. It's about what I wanted to do. And that right there is exactly like what I needed to tell myself, because I don't need to do anything. I have a very pleasant life. Despite changes, despite struggles sometimes, whatever. I love my life. I really, really love my life. I enjoy the life that I have. But there are things I want to improve about myself. I want to improve my ability to accept change and experience new things. And I want to enjoy more. I mean, what is life for other than enjoyment, right? I mean, if it makes you smile, buy it, do it, worth it completely. Just make it happen. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to start doing that. And my first step is to just tell all of you guys what I'm doing, because I feel like I share a connection with this community that I don't share with anybody else. This kind of connection makes me happy. It makes me laugh and giggle, and I love watching your guys' videos, and I love exploring things with you guys, even if I'm doing it silently. I've watched so many videos, and sometimes I don't even comment, because what could I say that is worth saying in a comment? Not much. Sometimes you watch a video and you're just happy that you watched it. And maybe that's what I should do. Just start commenting that I'm happy that I watched it. But the point is I'm going to do more of those things that make me smile. I'm going to do those things that scare me a little. I'm going to do those things that add butterflies to my stomach and make me a little leery. I'm going to do those things that I want to do, that I want to see in myself. I'm going to make those changes because I can. I hope you guys have a very great day.